My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish by Mo O'Hara. Read by Miss Claybaugh. Chapter 3 Fish 911. I did more than touch it. I reached into the bowl and scooped it up with my fingers and ran to the bathroom. Come on, fish, hang on. You'll be okay now, I muttered as I ran. The fish was covered in the green gunk, and it was flipping about in my hands. At least it was still moving, but it wouldn't last long, all gunked up like this. I tried to hold it in one hand while I turned on the tap and washed it, but I could feel it wriggling with my fingers. Then slurp! It flipped out of my hand and landed in the toilet. Splash! I dropped down next to the bowl. The fish kind of bobbed around and swished its tail, but then it went still and leaned over. Our other goldfish all did that leaning thing too, just before they went belly up and died. I raced to my bedroom and got my walkie-talkie. Tom, to Pradeep. Come in, Pradeep. Over, I said. Roger, Pradeep answered. I mean, Roger, Tom, or Tom, Roger. Anyway, I'm here. Over. Pradeep, it's a code red, I shouted. Over, quick. We have this code of important stuff we both agree on when we were back in first grade. Yellow is stuff like girls are nearby. Blue is stuff like there's a dog digging up the gross food from our lunch boxes that we buried. Orange is stuff like there's a teacher or parent coming. And red is the most important stuff you can imagine, like aliens are invading the neighborhood, or escaped elephants are trampling a playground, or somebody is murdering a goldfish. If you're trying to figure out the system, it's not like traffic lights or anything, it's the color of jelly beans from least to good to best. I'll be there on the double, Pradeep said, and hung up. I was still staring at the leaning fish in the toilet when Pradeep ran up the stairs. In here, I called. What's up? He asked. I pointed to the fish. Pradeep bent down and looked closely at it. Did you go to a fair? He asked. No, it's Mark's, I said. Part of his evil scientist plan to murder a goldfish with green evil scientist stuff. We leaned over the toilet bowl and stared at the fish again. Did you learn anything on your Cub Scout first aid day that could help him? We didn't do goldfish. The fish tilted to one side, then the other, then onto his back. Oh no, he's going belly up, I shouted. I reached into the toilet and turned the fish right side up, but he just floated upside down again when I let go. Pradeep, we need to do something quick. I told him he'd be okay. He's counting on me. It needs CPR, Pradeep said. On a person, you would press on their chest and count, or you would shock them with those battery packs attached to paddles that they have in hospitals. I saw it on TV. We have batteries, I said. I ran into my room and took the battery out of my alarm clock. Then I raced back to see Pradeep laying the fish on the shelf by the tank. I put the openish end of the battery on him, and flip! The fish jerked. I looked at Pradeep and I did it again. Flip flop! This time the fish started wriggling like it did when I first grabbed it out of the bowl. We quickly filled up the sink and dropped the fish in, and it started swimming around. We did it, I said. Pradeep and I did our secret celebration high five. 2 slaps up, 2 down, elbow bumps, knees, fist bumps, left, right, and then "We rock" said at the same time as we bumped fists in the middle. You shocked him back to life, said Pradeep, like Frankenstein in that movie. Hey, let's call him Frankie after the monster. Hello, Frankie, I said, tapping on the side of the sink. He stopped swimming and slowly turned around. And that's when I swear he looked me right in the eye and winked. Chapter 4 Frankenfish. Did you see that? I turned to Pradeep. What? Pradeep was drying his hands on a bathroom towel. The way Frankie looked at me. He winked. I stared down at the goldfish, but now he was looking around in the normal way that goldfish do. You know, where one of their eyes is looking at the wall and the other eye is looking up your left nostril at the same time. Never mind, I said, shaking my head. We've got to get Frankie back into his bowl before Mark notices he's gone, or else you're dead meat. Pradeep finished my words. We ran back into Mark's room to grab the bowl of gloppy green water. You can't put him back in the bowl. The gunge will kill him, Pradeep said. Well, we can't put him back in clean water. Mark will notice and kill me, I said. And then he'll kill Frankie. We ran back to the bathroom, sat on the radiator, and stared at Frankie swimming around in the sink. Then I had an idea. Hey, what if we make it green with safe stuff? Remember that green food coloring stuff your mom used last St. Patrick's Day? I mean, if it's okay for people to eat, it's got to be okay for a fish to swim in, right? Pradeep thought for a second. It'll have to be. Pradeep's mom isn't Irish. She just gets really into holidays. You can pretty much name a holiday, and Pradeep's mom has had a party for it. When we went over there for her St. Patrick's Day party, she had dyed everything green. We even had green finger sandwiches, which, it turns out, don't even have real fingers in them. Total false advertising. And she had green milkshakes and green cupcakes with green icing. It was cool, except that when you eat 17 green cupcakes in a row, it means you throw up green. We have to get some of the green food coloring from your kitchen, I said. I can't go home, Pradeep said. My mom will make me stay for Earth Day polar bear pajama party that she's having. I looked at Pradeep with a face that said, I can't even ask why she would do that. He answered my face. She says the North Pole has really long nights and the polar bears sleep a lot, so they'd want a pajama party. He paused. I told her it didn't work. Well, never mind. Okay, I'll go and get the food coloring, I said. As I started for the stairs, I could hear the thump, thump, thump of Mark's music coming from his headphones. He must be on the couch just by the steps. There was no way I could sneak past. Okay, I said. I'm taking escape route 5. Pradeep and I had planned 16 different escape routes from both our houses, just in case of a code red. Route 5 was out of my bathroom window. Pradeep, it's up to you to stop Mark from coming upstairs before I get back. You can count on me, Pradeep said. I'll think of something to keep him occupied. He gave me a thumbs up, then took a deep breath and headed downstairs to the TV room, where Mark was slumped over the couch. Can I say that's a really cool white scientist coat you're wearing? Pradeep said. I heard him start to tell Mark about the nature special on the National Geographic Channel that shows you what's really in a crocodile's stomach. Time for Escape Route 5. I opened the window of the bathroom and stood on the toilet lid to climb out onto the garage roof. Suddenly, it looked a lot farther down to the roof than it did in the drawing we'd done in Pradeep's notebook. No going back now, though. I edged out the window. Then I heard a splash and a thwap. Before I even turned around, I knew what that sound was. It was the sound of a wet goldfish hitting a tile floor.